This might be of interest. Quite often when I'm writing stuff, I use what's called Lorem text. It just means making up fake text, and often this is done with sort of Greek-looking words. But I decided to make one that has oceanography sort of looking words, or oceanography words, in fact. So let me just show you how it works. And I've written it in Lua, so I'm going to run the thing, and it produced that. They're randomly made, so if I do it again, I get different stuff. So these are oceanographic kind of words. And I guess the advantage of doing this, one, it's kind of fun. Let's just be honest about it. Um, but these are the kind of words that we typically use. I should probably put in and the and words like that as well. And anyway, they have this sort of the length, and it has the sort of, it's called the darkness in typography. It has a darkness that you would expect. And maybe I'll just show you the code for it, Lorem. I'll do this quickly. First, there's just a couple of hundred lines of code. So, or no, 80. I can't tell because the thing is, okay, there we go. There's like 70 some lines of code. At the beginning, I'm making I don't know what it's called in Lua. I would call it a vector, and I'm just shoving things in. So I'm putting ADCP, and hash code and name of vector is the length of it. So this is a way in which you can just add stuff to the end. There are other ways as well, but this one seems simpler to me. So I'm making words, and I've actually mm, put them in alphabetical order here. And the reason for that is that then if someone else wants to add extra stuff, maybe something that would go between Ekman and Eulerian, they wouldn't have to look to see if they'd already been added. It's right there. So the uppercase ones are first, and then the lowercase. So I'll jump to the bottom. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm picking a random seed from the time, the OS operating system time. That's fine. Otherwise, I'll get the same results over and over. I'm making a thing which will be called text. That's what gets printed at the very end. If you look at the last line, making a thing called text, and first it has nothing in it. And I'm also defining something called last word. And the way it works in Lua is these are kind of called global because I guess it's used in the loop and out. I don't really know why, but I get, if I put a lowercase text there, I get warnings from my Lua language server. So I put uppercase. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Okay, so this is saying I want to have 200 words printed out, and you'll see that there's a warning saying that I have an unused local. I don't care about that, but I'm sure there's a clever way of saying I want you to run 200 times without defining an intermediate variable, but I don't care. Okay, and I'm making local word. I guess I made local. Let me just stop talking about local because I don't really understand what it's about in Lua. Right, so what am I doing? I'm getting words, that's my dictionary, and I'm saying, well, give me a random number. This math.random is going to be between 0 and 1. Multiply that by the number of words in there. Um, and Lua starts at index 0, I guess. And take the floor of it. Doesn't matter, but I'm taking the floor of it. And I get that word. So every time I go through, I'll pick a random word. Now here what I'm doing is I'm saying this tilde equals means not equal. Um, if it's equal to the previous word, don't do it again. That just prevents it saying like turbulence, turbulence, just as an example. That's what that does. And I'm saving the last word there. So that's how that block works. Now what I'm doing is something clever. Some of these have dashes in them. I'm not sure that I have any with dashes, but I've kind of designed it such that some of them could have dashes in it. Looks like I haven't done that, but I might do that, like post dash, post something, or whatever. And what this is doing is it would just collapse them so that the a word starting with dash or ending with dash doesn't get a space around it. Anyway, that's how that works. Might be interesting for some people. Now, I don't know enough about Lua to be able to answer any questions. I'm going to put this on YouTube. So I'm just going to make a request that people don't, put a comment saying, hey, how do I do this in Lua or that in Lua? Where am I going with this? Well, maybe you can see where I'm going with this. I'm editing this in a neovim text editor, and I want to get it set up that I can type some, particular character sequence, and it will insert a bunch of Lua text. Um, it's just a really nice way to, you're writing the introduction of a paper and you think, well, I'd like to have about 3 paragraphs. So you want to just kind of see how, and let's say you're writing it in LaTeX and you run a separate command to create a PDF. You just want to see how long it will be. And if you're putting a figure and then another figure, you want to see, would they be too jammed together? Do I need more text in between them, etc. Anyone who's done scientific writing in LaTeX knows what's good about Lua. And people probably the same can work in Word as well, but it's been decades since I've used Word. That's it for me, signing off on a hot day in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Take care. Bye.